Justin Herbert took the NFL by storm in his rookie year, setting all kinds of records and proving that he is a legitimate quarterback in this league, obviously leading the Chargers to a good amount of wins. Now, expectations are very high for him coming into his second season, so in today's video, we'll talk about Justin Herbert, the skill set that he has, the players around him, and whether or not he can lead the Chargers to a Super Bowl. Let's get right into it. If you have not already, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'm uploading multiple videos every single week and your support goes a long way. But anyways, getting right into things, obviously Justin Herbert was a very high pick at the number 6 overall pick in last year's NFL draft, but this doesn't necessarily mean that he was thought to be a future star. Many people believe that out of the quarterbacks taken in the first round, Justin Herbert would be the worst, so even though he was taken 6 overall, he had many doubters and expectations weren't very high for him going into his rookie season. Justin Herbert took over the starting quarterback position for the Chargers only the second game into the season after a very unfortunate and preventable injury to Tyrod Taylor, who is a pretty good quarterback in his own right, but it was pretty obvious after a few games of Justin Herbert that he was going to be their guy going forward, and even after Tyrod Taylor got healthy again, Justin Herbert remained the starter. On the season, Justin Herbert had 4,336 passing yards, 31 passing touchdowns, while completing 66.6% of those passes, and he only threw 10 interceptions. He also proved that he's more than capable of running the ball with 234 rush yards and 5 rush touchdowns. Those are great numbers for any NFL quarterback, let alone a rookie quarterback, and like I said, a rookie quarterback who didn't have that high of expectations coming into this year. Now that we've seen what Justin Herbert is capable of, we've seen him dominate for an entire NFL season, it's pretty confusing why he was so overlooked in last year's draft and why expectations were pretty low for him. Maybe it's because he isn't as flashy as some of the other guys, maybe it's because he played in the Pac-12 rather than the SEC. Whatever it was, it is clear now that all the critics were wrong. It is clear now that we got it wrong on Justin Herbert, and it is clear that he is going to be a future star quarterback in this league. Justin Herbert has great size for the quarterback position at 6'6" and over 230 pounds. He's just a strong, solid presence in the pocket, and for a guy of his size, he can also move very well on his feet. But the two things I like most about Justin Herbert's game are his arm strength and his decision making. His arm strength allows him to make a lot of throws that many other NFL quarterbacks cannot make, especially since he is a guy who is 6'6" and over 230 pounds, like I mentioned before. And when you combine this with his great decision making and his football IQ, it makes for a very tough quarterback to game plan and defend against. Justin Herbert can make a lot of throws, but he doesn't force throws a lot either. Like I said before, he had 31 pass touchdowns and only 10 interceptions, which is a very good number, a very good ratio for any NFL quarterback, let alone a rookie quarterback. So you know after his first year, he's only going to improve from that. He's only going to throw more touchdowns. This ratio is only going to get better. So Justin Herbert showing that he is capable of making the right play, of making the right decision, and not forcing a lot of throws was very, very impressive. And like I said, especially for a guy who is a rookie coming into his first season. So obviously Justin Herbert is great. We all know that he has a ton of potential going forward, and we all know that he is going to be the star of the Chargers for many years to come. But does this mean that he is good enough to lead the Chargers to a Super Bowl? I'm not sure he is at this point in time. I'm not sure he is in his second season, but I think that he has all the tools and weapons around him on both offense and defense to be great, and I think that the Chargers could end up being a legit Super Bowl contender in the future if Justin Herbert can stay healthy and keep progressing, and if they can keep their core around him. On offense, Justin Herbert has so many different guys that he can give the ball to, so many different playmakers who are going to make him look better, even though he already looks great. He has Keenan Allen, one of the best receivers in the entire league when he is healthy. Austin Eckler, another guy who when he's healthy is a very, very good running back. Mike Williams, probably one of the better secondary receivers in the entire league. He has a solid O-line, which they improved upon by drafting Rashawn Slater this season, who was one of the best offensive linemen, and according to some people, the best offensive lineman in this year's NFL draft. So he has a ton of weapons on the offensive end to support him, a ton of weapons to give the ball to who can make plays. And on the defensive side of the ball, the Chargers have just as many, if not more weapons than they do on offense. Joey Bosa is one of the best defensive players in the entire NFL. He's a nightmare for quarterbacks and offensive linemen to go up against. Chris Harris Jr. is a lockdown corner, a veteran guy who can guard almost any receiver in the entire league. Derwin James was proving himself to be one of the best safeties in the entire league before his injury. They kept him out for the entirety of last season, which was very unfortunate for the Chargers and their defense. And they even drafted one of the best corners in the draft this year, according to many people, in Asante Samuel Jr. I believe that the Chargers are still a few seasons away from making a deep playoff run and putting themselves into the Super Bowl conversation, but because of the weapons that we talked about and because of how great Justin Herbert is, I think that the Chargers are in a very good spot, and I could easily see them being a legit Super Bowl contender in a few years. However, just because I think the Chargers are in a good position and I like Justin Herbert a lot and what they have surrounded him with, it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy for them at all. They play in a very tough division with the Super Bowl champion Chiefs. They are going to be a tough team for them for years to come. The Chiefs are going nowhere. They are going to be one of the best teams in the NFL for a long time, especially with Patrick Mahomes as their quarterback. The Broncos have a lot of young, talented players, so in a few years when the Chargers are making their push, the Broncos could also at that time have a lot of players who have developed and become better. The Broncos could also end up being very good as well. The Raiders, you never know what they are going to be. Even though they are bad right now, they could end up being a good team as well. Like I said, they play in a very tough division, but for right now, I think that if they can develop their young players, if they can keep Justin Herbert and their other stars healthy, and they can continue to build chemistry with each other, I think that the Chargers will be a very tough team in the future, and give it a few years, they may make a deep playoff run. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think Justin Herbert can lead the Chargers to a Super Bowl. Let me know where you think Justin Herbert ranks among NFL quarterbacks. And remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thanks a ton. I will see you in the next one.